Hi, everybody. Ken Phelps here from the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our Mission Member Spotlight interview. Our mission members are those business and community leaders who believe strongly in the work of the Daytona Regional Chamber and go over and above in their support of our mission. And it is my pleasure to welcome Jonny Magill of Jonny Nomad Media to learn a little bit about him and his business. Hey, Jonny, thanks for taking a few minutes with us today.
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure, Ken. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Jonny Nomad Media. I'm curious about the origin of the Jonny Nomad moniker and how you came to be doing business in the region. Or maybe I should just steal a line from the front of your Jeep and say, who is Jonny Nomad?
It's a good point. Actually, I'm going to get into that in a second, but you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a bathrobe. Well, I remember actually, I think the last time you and I were on a conversation together on Zoom, we were talking about COVID and we were talking about how it affected people and, talking about working from home. And this is one of the props that I told people. I'm like, look, you cannot work in your bathrobe. You got to get your mind around the fact that whether you're in an office or in your home office, you got to keep moving in the right direction. So I figured just for nostalgia, I would actually wear the bathrobe, but I'm going to ditch this now. There we go.
There's the Jonny Nomad branded gear that we are all have become accustomed to. Love it.
Absolutely. So the interesting thing is, who is Jonny Nomad? So obviously, it's not my given last name, but it's something that I've really always felt my entire life. I have always been moving around. I was actually born in Tampa, never lived there. I was raised in New York, played hockey all over the place from Canada to Iowa, went to prep school in New Hampshire, college in Boston, lived in San Diego, and then lived in Texas, and now came here to Florida. And so that's kind of the nomad part of it. I'm really always happiest when I'm moving around. And I tend to try to add that element in my work when I'm talking about my, whether it's gallery type prints, things like that. You'll find a very, very heavy emphasis on travel. And again, at some point, this branded stuff will work its way into a lifestyle brand, possibly clothing, accessories, bags, things like that. That's kind of the overall plan. But as of right now, Jonny Nomad Media is my primary focus, and I do photography, videography on the ground, in the water, in the sky. No babies, no brides. That's it.
I was waiting for that line. I've heard it before, and I think it's a very effective way to show the niche you fill in the media realm. Well, I want to ask you then, why does the Daytona Regional Chamber's mission of advocating a strong economic and business environment resonate with you, and it in turn inspired your support for the Mission Member Program?
Well, I'll tell you, I think you and I have spoken, and I'm not going to get into it here, but I've had a lot of chamber experiences and not a lot of good chamber experiences. There are some good chambers around, but once I decided upon the behest of someone very close to me, somebody I would consider a mentor, to join the chamber, almost like a light switch, my business changed. The legitimacy of my business was recognized. The amount of opportunities that I had immediately kind of blossomed and changed. But I think really for me, it was the fact that this chamber is not only about business relationships. It's not only about going out and having your regional business connections, not leads groups, but the RBC groups. It's about building those relationships in the community, but also when you talk about the advocacy, that's one thing I think a lot of people forget about, is that the Chamber's mission is not only for their members to succeed, but it's to make sure that if their members are going to succeed, they have to have a vibrant community in which to do so. So when I saw how committed the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce was to those missions and going up to Tallahassee and making things right for not only our state, but our local area, becoming a mission member was a very, very easy decision. And I'm very proud to be able to do that.
Very good. I couldn't have put it better myself, and they pay me to do it. So thank you for that. You give back to the region in numerous ways. You're involved with a number of charitable organizations. Would you share with the audience why that's important to you and what you believe the impact will be on the community from the giving back that you do?
Well, giving back for me, it goes back to an old, I can't remember, I apologize if it's Zig Ziglar or Napoleon Hill, basically said, if you want to get everything you want out of life, just help everybody else around you get what they want. And I've always been a firm believer in that charitable kind of mindset. But for me, one of the things that's most important is the fact that I came here 6 years ago, and I really believe that 6 years ago when I got here was really kind of not because of me by any means, even though Bucky's finally got here, told him it took him long enough to follow me here. But there's a boom going on in Daytona Beach. We are building, we are expanding, we are hiring, we are really kind of moving. And I'm really very glad that I got here in the exact time that I felt like was a ground floor opportunity to be a part of this community moving forward. And to be a part of the community, you've got to give back. So I'm a big Jeep guy, always have been, always will be. I'm on actually now with the newest addition to our fleet, the Commander. This is my 6th Jeep that I've owned in my lifetime. And Jeep Beach was a very natural fit for me. It also gives me an opportunity to touch so many different organizations at once, because we have over 30 different organizations that we donate money towards. I'm very, very happy to say that because of everyone who attended Jeep Beach last year and everything, they were able to raise $500,000 for local charities. And when you go out and you actually attend these charities and give back as a volunteer, or give back with your time, your talents, your treasures to, for me, capture those events, bring it out and show people what they do. But just like Oceans of Hope, one of my favorite local charities. These guys are fantastic. What they do is they have it's basically surfing for people with disabilities or developmentally disabled. And when you see these people get in the water that maybe never figured, because they're bound to a wheelchair, that they might not even ever be on the sand, much less ever had a dream to be in the water. And you see what that means to them, how they open up and how they become alive. It's very easy to want to donate that time. But I encourage other businesses to do some of the things that I did to kind of foster that growth as well. And one of the things that I always do whenever I have a client, we go through and we do our contracts and we sign the dotted line. Once we're done, the first question I ask them is, what are you passionate about? What local charity or what local organization do you work with that you feel very passionate about? And once I find that out, I contact that agency and I say, hey, I have a new client, and that client says that you are someone that they feel very passionate about. In their name, I'm going to donate my services to give you a video, 4 or 5 minute video, tell people about what you do, or if there's a hole that you need filled right now, I'm going to give of myself on their behalf to help you build your organization. So now we have 3 people working in the same exact, direction. And I think just that little thing, going a little bit further and giving of myself, and maybe, it's a new relationship and I don't expect to get business out of it. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. But I feel like I'm a part of building a tighter, more cohesive, kind of area and cohesive partnership in this area. So that's really kind of where I live in the charity space. And I always encourage any 501c3s. My biggest thing, I've always told everybody, if I could solely exist doing nothing but 501c3 and offering them professional level quality production at rates they can afford, or even if I was able to do it pro bono, that's where I would love to be. Everybody knows realistically you can't build a business on that, but I will tell you, I have some very aggressive discounting programs and very aggressive ways to get these 501c3s out there to be seen and to have the quality of what's put out there on social media and on their websites to match the quality of who they are and what they do.
Yeah, I tell you, it's funny. I think when you talk about being a Jeep guy and the work that Charlene, I know she's the one that's kind of out front, but there's a whole host of volunteers and folks who are doing a lot of the work that Jeep Beach does and the positive impact they're having in the community. It's such a logical fit for you to be part of that because of their presence on social media. And it's a different thing when you can say, hey, there are thousands of Jeeps visiting our community versus you can see them rolling down the highway in a convoy or coming up and down the beach. It's just tremendous work. So thank you for all the work that you do for the charitable organizations in our community. It really is about making our community a great place.
And it's 100% my pleasure. I only wish I could do more.
So the last question I'll ask you, and this will be interesting to see because you clearly are passionate about your work, but you're also passionate about the community. And I hope maybe we have coaxed the nomadic traits out of you a little bit, that you'll be around for a while. But what do you believe is the best aspect of doing business in the Daytona Beach region?
100% the people. 100% the people. And when I say that, I not only mean the end users, the people that hire me, not only mean the people that I've met through the chamber, I mean literally everyone here. You have movers and shakers that are not happy with way Daytona has a moniker. They're not happy with the fact that people refer to it. I don't want to say it, but I'm going to. People have said Dirtona and stuff like that. You know what? We take offense to that. We know we live in an amazing community with amazing businesses, amazing people. It makes me happy to see larger companies like the Brown and Browns and construction going up all over the place and people investing in this community. But again, it all comes back to people. If people didn't believe in this community, if people didn't believe in the other people here, if we didn't believe in our local leaders who are people, if we didn't believe in our first responders and law enforcement who are people, it all comes back to the people of this area that make it so insanely special, and also make it the reason why my wife and I have considered, well, not considered, we've pretty much decided when we moved here 6 years ago, this was going to be a kind of a pivotal spot for us, a pivotal area, because we basically said, my mom and dad live down in South Florida. We wanted to be close, but not knock on the door close. So, you know, we wanted to make sure that they were okay, be closer to see them. But, you know, they're getting older in their years. And when they passed, we were going to go right back to Texas because we loved it. And now, because of the people, because of those relationships we've built, and also, to be quite frank with you, because of the fact that those people have allowed me to build this business into something that is not only starting to really spread its wings, but have a viable future here and building and scaling, we're absolutely going to stay. We love it here, and it's going to be hard for you guys to get rid of me.
Well, on behalf of everybody else in the community, I'm really glad to hear that, and looking forward to seeing what the future holds for you, for your wife, and for Jonny Nomad Media as a business. We're very grateful for your support of the Daytona Regional Chamber, and I want to thank you for sharing a few moments with us today.
Ken, thank you. Thank you to Nancy. Thank you to Len. Thank you to everybody there at the chamber for bringing me in and making me feel at home, and not making me feel like I had to pay my dues just to belong, or make me feel like I had to jump through a million hoops to prove myself. From the moment that I came in, you guys welcomed me with open arms and welcomed my company with open arms. And I'm so excited about the future. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. Well, we want to thank you for tuning in as well to our Mission Member Spotlight. Be sure to check out future editions of the Daytona Regional Chamber e-brief for more Mission Member Spotlights, as well as news and information about your business community. And take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel while you're here watching so you get updates on new content. Thanks for watching, and so long, everybody.